भगवतो अरहतो सम्मा नमो तस्सा भगवतो अरहतो सम्बुद्धस्सा बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि संघं शरणं गच्छामि। इतिपिसो भगवा अरहं सम्मा सम्बुद्धो विद्याचरणसम्पन्नो शिवतो लोकविदुः अनुत्तरो पुरुषधम्मसारथि कर्ता देवमनस्सानं बुद्धो भगवाति साक्षातो भगवता धम्मो संवित्तिको अकालिको ऐहिकसिको औपनेयिको अच्युतं वेदितव्यो विनियोहीति सुपटिपन्नो भगवतो साधुसङ्घो उजुपटिपन्नो भगवतो साधुसङ्घो न्यायपटिपन्नो भगवतो साधुसङ्घो सामीचिपटिपन्नो भगवतो साधुसङ्घो यदिदं चत्तारि पुरुषयुगानि अष्टपुरुषपुङ्गला एषु भगवतो साधुसङ्घो आहुरे आहुरे दक्षिणे अञ्जलिकर्णे अनन्तरं पुण्यतीर्थं उपसाति। The sutta. We'll study the Metta Sutta beside that. Mettaye Bhikkhave Ceto Vimuttiya Asevitaye Bhavitaye Bahulikataye Jnanikataye Vathukataye Anuttitaye Parichitaye Susamardaye Ekadasa Nisansa Patika Kankha. Monks, 11 advantages are to be expected from the release of heart by familiarizing oneself with thoughts of loving kindness, by the cultivation of loving kindness, by constantly increasing these thoughts, by regarding loving kindness as a vehicle of expression, and also as something to be treasured by living in conformity with these thoughts, by putting these ideas into practice, and by establishing them. What are the 11? Katme Ekadas, Sukham Sukhati, he sleeps in comfort. Sukham Patibujjati, he awakes in comfort. Na papakam supinam pasati, he sees no evil dreams. Manussanang piyo hoti is dear to human beings. Amanussanang piyo hoti, he is dear to non-human beings. Devata rakhati, devas protect him. Nasang agni va visang va sattang va kamati, fire, poison and weapons cannot touch him. Tuvatam chittam samadhiyati, he can concentrate his mind quickly. Mukhavanno vipasidati, his countenance is serene. Asumho kalang karoti, he dies without being confused in mind. Uttari apatti vijhanto Brahmalok upago hoti, if he fails to attain Haranship here and now, he will be reborn in the Brahma world. Nittaya Dikkhave Cheto Vimutya Asevitaye Bhavitaye Bahulikatāye Yani Kataye Vattu Kataye Anutthitāye Parichittaye Susamaradhaye Ime Ekadasa Nisansa Patikam Khati. These 11 advantages, monks, are to be expected from the release of heart by familiarizing oneself with thoughts of loving kindness, by cultivation of loving kindness, by constantly increasing these thoughts, by regarding loving kindness as a vehicle of expression and also as something to be treasured by living in conformity with these thoughts, by putting these ideas into practice and by establishing them. So said the Blessed One, the monks rejoiced at the words of the Blessed. So these are the inspirations for us to practice Metta.
There is a separate sutta on this as well.
Yeah,
Alag sutta hai.
that's why I took out the sutta rather than the traditional. This is Anguttara Nikaya 11.16. So Metta, there are 3 different suttas. One is Karaniya Metta Sutta, Metta Sutta and Metta Nisansa Sutta. That's also there. So I'm trying to locate the other one.
और मंगल something something sutta कुछ और है.
That is different. Mangal Suttas are also more than one. Mahamangal, basically to Mangal Sutta hai, but then there are traditional additions to them.
So Silesh has this question that is there a correlation between Metta instructions and Anatta teachings?
There should be actually, but the way it is, instructions are given, sometimes it gives a feeling that I am giving Metta and I am practicing Metta. So it is up to, if we see the development of Metta will take place only when one person is totally free from self-will. Then that Metta will naturally arise. So till such time as happens, we prefer practice Metta. Then a person will not have to practice. It will be a natural state of his existence.
And actually Ajahn Sumito tries to explain Metta Sutta as not something imposing your views, in the sense that if you're having anger, Metta Sutta doesn't become to get rid of that anger, but to have that acceptance of that anger.
He expands the definition of Metta and it's to practice of Metta towards oneself.
और there's also logical भी है ना. If
Yeah.
you can't start with yourself,
Naturally.
तो क्या होगा?
Then it will be more of thinking, intellectual exercise. So we read the Sutta Nipata.
So we have Sir Amit, Deepti and Silesh online, and Meenakshi ji sent the email that she has some exam today, so we will not be joining.
So we'll read two short suttas. You remember the reference and the story behind them? Questions of being asked to build them. So these are, last time we heard the Ajit Manav, now this is Tissa Metiya and so this is, we'll read this 5.2, the questions of Tissa Metiya, then 5.3 questions of Punnaka. It's the same continuation of that.
और कितने खड़े हैं और कितने
Disciples of Bavari, 16 disciples. We had read Ajit Manav, so now it is Tissa Metiya and then Punnaka's questions.
क्वेश्चंस कर रहे हैं
तिस्सा मेतिया ये कर रहे हैं क्वेश्चंस, पहला 5.2 में, 5.3 में उन्नत क्वेश्चंस कर रहे हैं.
यू मॉन्क किया है
हाँ, वो वही ब्राह्मण है ना, उनके जो बाबरी के डिसाइपल्स थे, जो पिछली बार कहा था ना स्टोरी. There was a very old monk by the name Babri who was 120 years old. So he came to know about Buddha and he sent his students कि उनको देख के आओ, उनको ये marks of greatness हैं कि नहीं है, and if they are then pay respects and tell him कि हमारा टीचर तो बहुत बूढ़ा है, नहीं आ पा रहा है, तो आप हमारे प्रश्नों का उत्तर दीजिए. And then they will answer these questions. So they are very sincere seekers. They ask very difficult, profound questions.
So before going into profundity, थोड़ा बताइए ये marks of greatness की कहानी क्या है? Does it appear in other places?
हाँ, it appears in Indian also. Indian जैसे कहा जाता है ना कि विष्णु जी के नीचे चक्र हैं, वो सब चीज़ें हैं पाँव के नीचे. So marks of greatness are, they may not be matching one to one, but I don't know that. But इनके एक सूत्र है ना जिसमें 32 मार्क्स सारे डिफाइन किए गए हैं.
Right.
एंड देन दीज उसमें यही लोग वहाँ जाके वो मार्क्स पहले देखते हैं, देन दे चेक अप दैट इट इज़ ऑल. सम मार्क्स आर नॉट एविडेंट, सो बिकॉज दे हैव दैट इंक्वायरी, Buddha creates a image in their things which they can see, the other concealed marks, so they get convinced and then they praise him for all the greatness. मतलब देख होता है ना, एग्जामिन करते हैं ना उसको, सचमुच में ये है कि ऐसे कहानी चल रही है.
लेकिन जिनकी वो चक्र निशान चिन्ह होते हैं जैसे विष्णु के हैं या तो उनके तो बने हुए उसमें पहचान की क्या बात है, क्योंकि वो ही तभी बना
नहीं, वो देखेगा कैसे, दूसरा आदमी देखना चाहता
हम इतने सक्षम है क्या? हम इतने सक्षम है क्या हम वो देख सकते हैं?
अच्छा
है. दूसरा जैसे जाता है देखने को, तो अब वो
देख नहीं पाता है.
कुछ तो देख पाएगा, कुछ चीज़ें छुपी हुई रहती है ना, कुछ चीज़ें शरीर के अंदर छिपी हुई हैं, इस तरह का उनका वो है शरीर का. तो वो फिर जो अगर जैसे भगवान बुद्ध के बारे में कहा जाता है कि उनको लगा कि ये सिंसियरली वेरीफाई कर रहे हैं, सो लेट देम सी ऑल दैट एंड दैट कन्विंस्ड दैट दे आर देयर. सी. So this has been a part of Indian tradition.
And more recent times, have you come across references to it or?
कुछ लोगों के बारे में सुना, बीच बीच में रेफरेंस आता है. आई थिंक रमना महर्षि के बारे में भी कहीं कुछ है. Somewhere I have read, I don't remember the reference, but I have read. Seem to have read somewhere.
बस थेरावाड़ा ट्रेडिशन में अब हरहंस का कोई ऐसा नहीं आता है.
No, these are the traditions. These are the marks of a Buddha.
मार्क्स ऑफ ग्रेटनेस तो इधर पाली कानन और लोगों के भी आए हैं. देयर इज रेफरेंस टू 32 नहीं होंगे बट कुछ लोग
Yeah,
तो आए
तो
हैं.
कुछ कम होंगे ना.
राइट.
So maybe they are even for arhants. I don't know. I have not come across that. But in the canon, I have heard about Buddha only. मैंने जो पढ़ा है बुद्धा के बारे में ही आया है कि he has all the 32. हाँ?
बैटरी
तो देख लो जितनी देर चलता है.
बाबा से पता करना लंच में और कहाँ रहते
months
हैं।
ago.
Yeah.
I've been always very intrigued with this box business.
Tissamettiya Manava Puchchade, title of this. Kodha santussito loke kassa no santi injita ko ubhantam abhinyaya majje mantana likpati kam brusi mahapurisoti ko idhasiddhin machchaga. Ko santussito loke, who is contented in this world. Kasano santi injita, who is without agitation. Injita means agitation. Ko ubhantam abhinyaya, ubhantam means ubha, beginning, and anta means end, who knows both the ends, both the extremes, majje mantana lippati, and does not get attached to the middle. Kam brusi mahapurusoti, whom do you call a mahapurusha, whom do you call a great man? Ko idhasiddhinam achchaga, who has overcome the seamstress, the craving in this world. Now this is what is really what are these two ends and what is not getting exchanged in the middle. This is a very enigmatic sentence. These are found in many other places also, especially in the Sutta Nipata, again the questions. And there is one sutta in which the Buddha asks his monks, what is the meaning of this? What do you think is the meaning of this? And the monks think about it, and then they give all 6 different meanings. And then they tell Buddha, he says, yes, all possibilities are there, but in this particular case I meant this. So what does it really mean is what are the two ends? And there are so many explanations given. They say one end is, for example, the simplest to understand will be, one end is our sense organ, say eye, other end is the object, and in between is the consciousness which is generated by eye and eye consciousness. There is an eye, there is an object, and he says these are the two ends, and in between you have, that is the eye consciousness which is generated. Now if one is not attached to that, then you will be able to see the things in a different perspective. Because of the attachment, जो सिब्बिन मिच्छा, सिब्बिन मीन्स एक्चुअली सिविंग, जैसे सिलाई कर देते हैं. So it means वो दो चीज़ें जो है उनकी आपस में सिलाई हो जाती है, जुड़ जाते हैं because of craving. So because of craving we get attached to the form and not realize that there is an intermediate thing called eye consciousness which is arising, which is an impermanent temporary thing which has arisen. And that what we are seeing is not really the form itself, but only a projection of it in the consciousness. Similarly, it applies to everything. Name and form, that also generates consciousness. So in all sense spheres the same thing happens. So what happens is that if there is craving, it ignores the existence of consciousness in the middle and makes one forget the distinction between the eye and the object, and we just pick up, we get just attached to that sense. In all sense domains, same thing happens. With respect to eye, with respect to ear, with respect to this. So the Bhikkhu Nyanananda has given a great thought to this, and in his 2 books, the Magic of the Mind especially, he tries to explain this. With reference to he says that this is the you remember we had read a sutta called Fena Sutta, in which the Buddha mentions about similes for each of the 5 khandhas. And similarly for the consciousness was, it is a magician's trick. It's just a trick and we get carried away in that trick. So he points out that this is the magician's trick. And why is it happening? Because of craving. And he says that just as if you happen to see the magician's trick from the side of the magician and you find out ये trick हो रही है, then that magic will not entrap you. Isn't it? Similarly, if you can see this trick of consciousness which is arising and see it thoroughly, that it is just a conditioned phenomena which is arising. It's not I who is seeing and then I am liking and disliking. Then you will be free from that. That is the way you get free from the delusion of consciousness, and that is how the consciousness ceases. This is cessation of consciousness essentially means cessation of that imaginary world in which we live. So he gives so many examples of that, to illustrate it. One is the example he uses from the Christian tradition of Narcissus. If you have heard about Narcissus example, Greek tradition में आती है ना. There was a man and he fell in love with his own reflection in water, and he got so much in love that he jumped down to grab it and died. So then he gives this to explain it in the context of easily understandable thing. He says, suppose there is a plank and a dog is walking on that plank. Plank is on the river, and he sees the reflection and then he barks at the river. So he barks because he thinks there is a dog in it. Okay, but actually, because he is seeing there is a dog, otherwise there is no dog in it. So he says the world is reflected in our consciousness and we take it to be real. That's a very deep point, and that's how you come out of the trap of consciousness, because that magic is so strong that it's very difficult to come out of it. To see the conditioned nature of phenomena in that sense.
कॉन्शियसनेस से भी बाहर निकलना है. कॉन्शियसनेस से तो जानेंगे कि भाई
वो जो सेंसुअल कॉन्शियसनेस है ना, जो जिससे हम देख पा रहे हैं, सुन पा रहे हैं, समझ पा रहे हैं, वो हमको ट्रैप करके रखती है इस संसार में. क्यों? क्योंकि उसके प्रति क्रेविंग हो जाती है, ऑब्जेक्ट्स के प्रति तन्हा जो जागती है ना. ऑब्जेक्ट्स को, किसी भी ऑब्जेक्ट का मतलब देखने की चीज़, सुनने की चीज़, खाने की चीज़, सूंघने की चीज़, जो हमारी 5 इंद्रियां हैं या 6ठी इंद्रिय में विचार हैं, वो हमको ट्रैप करके रखते हैं. हम ये नहीं सोच पाते कि ये एक कंडीशन फिनोमेना है. इन दोनों के कारण लाइट थी तो इसलिए हमको दिख गया, और वो हम जो देख रहे हैं वो भी हम अपनी संज्ञा के हिसाब से देख रहे हैं. एक्चुअली ऑब्जेक्ट क्या है वो हम नहीं पता चल सकता हमको कभी भी. वी कैन नेवर नो दैट दिस इज व्हाट इट इज. हाउ विल यू नो एनीथिंग? यू टच इट, सी इट, स्मेल इट, टेस्ट इट. देयर इज नो अदर वे. एंड इन ईच सेंस डोर इज एक्चुअली an illusion which you are getting. You get only part of the picture, like 5 blind men जो example दी जाती है. Actually we are all blind, like 5 blind men. Each of the senses is checking. You touch by touch, then say, okay, this is this. You see, you say, oh, this is this. And we keep on inferring and form a picture. And that all picture is our mental image. There is no reality behind it.
तो संसार में आए तो आंखें बंद करके थोड़ी बैठेंगे.
वो थोड़ा कह रहे हैं, वो तो समझा रहे हैं. To come out of the illusion. जो मैं का भाव है वो इतना गहरा है, और सबसे गहरा भाव मैं का, मैं देख रहा हूँ, मैं सुन रहा हूँ, मैं जाग रहा हूँ, उसके कारण. हाउ टू कम आउट ऑफ दैट अनलेस वी सी थ्रू द इल्यूजन ऑफ कॉन्शियसनेस. तो कहा जाता है ना, गोयनका जी प्रवचन में बताते हैं ना कि भाई ये बात भी समझ में आ जाएगी कि संसार सब कुछ अनित्य है, दुख है, ये भी समझ में आ जाती है, लेकिन मैं नहीं हूँ ये नहीं समझ में आती. क्यों? कि जानने वाला तो है ना. शरीर अनित्य है ये भी समझ में आ जाता है, वेद संवेदना अनित्य है, वेदनाएं अनित्य है ये समझ में आ जाएगा, परसेप्शन अनित्य है ये समझ में आ जाएगा, संखार अनित्य है ये भी समझ में आ जाता है, अनुभव पे भी आ जाता है. लेकिन कॉन्शियसनेस अनित्य है ये क्या है यार? मैं तो जानने वाला ही ना, तो आई एम, मैं तो हूँ ही ना. तो वही जो भाव है वो कैसे हटेगा? जो वेदांत में है वो वहीं पे रुक गए हैं, आई एम. He is trying to penetrate through that. It's quite a counterintuitive thing. So we need to reflect on it very deeply. So that Bhikkhu Nanananda has been able to really put out very nicely. These are similes which make you think, Simile of a dog is very powerful actually. He says, dog thinks that he is looking because he sees something. But he does not realize that he is seeing because he is actually looking there. He is looking at water, so he is seeing something, otherwise there is nothing in it.
तो इसमें क्या consciousness क्या operate कर रही है इसमें?
Because the consciousness is operating, so we are looking at the world and we see the world is there.
Yeah. And therefore, what is the non-self in this?
The issue is that it is all a temporary phenomenon which is arising because of conditions. Conditions are such and we say it is a flower. And if our eye gets into a color blindness, ये yellow है, अब उसको तो कुछ और ही लगेगा. जो different, अगर हमारी eye की capability change हो जाए, तो जो हमको दिख रहा है वो बिल्कुल अलग दिखेगा. आँख की कान की कैपेबिलिटी चेंज हो जाए, जो हम सुन रहे हैं वो बिल्कुल ही अलग सुनने लगेगा. तो ऑब्जेक्टिव रियलिटी तो है ही नहीं ना कुछ भी. इट्स ऑल रिफ्लेक्शन इन आवर कॉन्शियसनेस दैट वी आर सीइंग द वर्ल्ड. ऑब्जेक्टिवली देयर इज नो ऑब्जेक्टिव रियलिटी विच यू कैन नो एनीवे. इट्स अ वेरी डीप फिलोसॉफिकल पॉइंट विच वी हैव टू रियली.
लेकिन उस तक पहुंचा जा सकता है ना.
वही समझाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं ना. वो बता रहे हैं ना कि
So, Shilesh has this question that isn't what we see influenced by past and habits?
Yeah, that is perception. We can even get through that कि हाँ ये बात तो सच है, हमारे पास्ट से हैबिट से इन्फ्लुएंस हो रहा है. बट मैं देख तो रहा हूँ ना यार, ऐसी क्या बात है. हाँ मैं अपने बेसिस पे कह रहा हूँ कि ये येलो कलर है, चलो कोई, बट है तो ना, चलो येलो को ब्लू कह लो, कोई बात नहीं, है तो ये ना, कुछ तो है, कुछ तो है ना. टच कर रहा हूँ ना, देखो मालूम पड़ रहा है ना. स्मेल कर रहा हूँ ना, मालूम पड़ रहा है ना. I'm smelling, I'm touching, I'm tasting. You can't tell me that I'm not doing it. Yeah, of course.
So क्या है illusion दर्शक?
Illusion, yeah, they are all conditioned phenomena which are arising. Consciousness is arising by conditions, according to conditions. And what you are perceiving is all conditioned phenomena. And then because we have strong perceptions and hey, this is what it is. Of course it is what it is. And the key point elsewhere is pointed out that we give solidity to the world because of a craving, because of tanha. Otherwise there is nothing in it. And we can see it, if you reflect deeply, when we go around and see so many things, only when the object evokes certain craving or aversion in it, then we notice. Otherwise we just see the form and get out. Just see a physical form. After all, by eye, we are just seeing a physical form, a kind of constellation of colors. That's all that we can see. Nothing else. Everything else is our mental construct. If you say, what is reality we are seeing? We are seeing a form which is arising because of, form is arising because of different colors. If you take a film, that becomes again very important method of understanding. For example, we are seeing on this screen, we are seeing the worlds. Now if you ask a Deepak, what exactly are we seeing? We are seeing a distribution of pixels on the screen. That is the reality. You are giving meaning to it. Isn't it? Meaning to hum de rahe hain na? Because of our conditioning, past conditioning, because of the way we interpret things and all that. Otherwise,
so somebody else may give it a
different meaning altogether. So there is no objective reality कि यहाँ पे ये लिखा हुआ है तिस्सा मेथी या पाना पुच्छा, ये तो मैं उसको मीनिंग दे रहा हूँ.
पर दरअसल कुछ तो लिखा हुआ है ना. Somebody else will read.
There is a redistribution of pixels. Somebody else may see a good picture in it. It looks like a very poorly done drawing. So this Bhikkhu Nanananda gives another simile which is quite often is about a film which we see in a cinema hall. It says you have a screen, so the film seems to us real, isn't it? Why does it seem real? He says it is because of the ignorance of darkness created in the screen. In that cinema hall you create darkness so that your focus gets on the screen. If you put full lights on it, You will not be able to, the screen will not entrap you. Then you will see these moving frames there. You will not be able to see that there's pictures and people and this and that and give meaning to that whole film. So similarly, the whole world which we are seeing, we are giving meaning to it because of the darkness of ignorance. Because we give reality to things which they are not, they are just appearances. And if you go deeper, modern science also comes to the same thing. It's all vibration. It's all vibration, and because of our limitations, we are giving it acquires a certain shape. We give it a form, we give it a color. Otherwise, there is no color. But to a normal person, of course, that is red, that is yellow, this is white. What else do you mean? But actually, there is no red or yellow or white in that. That thing seems to have a characteristic of reflecting certain wavelengths, that's all. So the point being made is that because we are not able to see the arising of consciousness as a conditioned phenomena, we take it personally. And therefore, we get caught in that trap. So let us read the reply of Buddha, then I think maybe we can have more clarity.
कामेषु ब्रह्मचर्य विता तन्हो सद्धा सत्तो संखाय निबुतो भिक्खु तस्सा नो संति इनि जित्या.
कामेषु ब्रह्मचर्या वा Vitatanho sadasato. So one who is abstaining from the sensual pleasures, or mithya. Vitatanha, who is free from tanha. Sadasato, is always mindful. Sankhaya nibbuto bhikkhu, who has carefully considered the Dhamma and become calm. Nibbuto means calm. Tassa no santi injita. He is without agitation. So that was his first question. Who is without agitation? Then second question he answers. नहीं चल रहा क्या?
उसमें बैटरी लो है ना, चलेगा
तो चलने दो, बंद हो जाएगा जब तक चल रहा चलने दो. आप पढ़ दो.
सो उभंतम भिन्याय मच्छमन्तानालिपति तम भूमि महापुरिसोति सो इद्धसिद्धिमच्चगाति.
So ubha antam abhinyaya. So he, after knowing the beginning and the end, that is the two extremes, madhye mantana lippati, he does not stick in the middle, he doesn't get attached to the middle. Tam brumi mahapurusoti, him I call a great man. So idha siddhina machaga, he is gone beyond the craving in this world. Such is his understanding becomes such that he is able to see the things separately. He doesn't get attached to the middle because he is free from tanha, he is free from craving. Therefore, the world does not trap him. He does not get into the trap of the world. So this is just the questions, few questions of Tissa Maitriya. Now we can read the Punnaka Dhamma Manav Pucha. Punnaka Manav Pucha.
अनिजम मुनि दसादि अति पनियन आगम किल सता किसनु बरुजा अतिया ब्राह्मणा कील काम यम अपे यीशु उधुधा योगी उच्चारण तम भगवा रूपी नेतम.
Anejam is without desires. Mula Dassavim, who has seen the root. Mool dekhiya, root of the evil or suffering or sin. Athipanhena agamam. So I have come to ask you this question. Kim nisyata isayo muni? On what? Why did the rishis and Manuja means people and common people, Kshatriya, Brahmana, Devata, Kshatris, Brahman, Devatas, why? Yanyamapakapya imsu putudva loke. Why do so many different kinds of sacrifices they offer to the Devatas? Puchhamitam Bhagava. I ask thee, O Bhagavan, tell me. So why do these all people make offerings to the Devatas? So he's asking that question. Ye kechime iseo manuja Kshatriya Brahmana Devatanam Yanyam Kappayim Suputudhe Loke Asisamana Punaka Ityam. So he's trying to reply Jaram Sita Yanyam Kappayim Su. So first he is just repeating that Punaka, all these rishis and men and those who make sacrifices to the offering to the devas, they do so Jaram Sita, having when they reach the old age. Why? They want to preserve their lives. So that is the answer which Buddha gives. मतलब कहीं मरना जाए हम जीते रहें. So ऑफरिंग इसीलिए करते हैं कि यज्ञ के अंदर ऑफरिंग जो की जाती हैं देवताओं को प्रसन्न किया जाता है इसलिए कि हम ठीक ठाक रहें. बिल्कुल यही करते हैं सब लोग. मोटिवेशन सबका यही है कि हम यहाँ ठीक ठाक रहें, कोई परेशानी ना हो, कोई दिक्कत हो रही है तो चलो देवता खुश हो जाएंगे. This is what we do.
गोविंदा जी कह रहे हैं 5 रुपए का प्रसाद वाला
सब लोग यही कर रहे हैं. अभी जो भी रिचुअल्स होते हैं मोस्टली इसीलिए होते हैं. बट बेसिकली तो यही उद्देश्य है ना. दैट्स अ हार्ड फैक्ट. यू कैन नॉट रन अवे फ्रॉम दैट.
ये किचिमे ईसायु मनुजा काथिया ब्रह्मणा देवतानम यान्य मापायिमिषु पुत्थुधा लोके कासिषु ते भगवा यन्य पाथे अपमता अतारुं जातिंच जरनंच मारिसा उच्छामि तम भगवा ब्रूहि मे तम.
So he is basically asking, all these rishis and men who offered these sacrifices, they were very sustained in making offerings. ऐसा थोड़ा है. And Atarum Jatincha Jarancha Marisa, oh great men, sir, please tell, have they crossed over this birth and old age? So please tell this, I want to know. Then, because they were very sincere in making these offerings, so something should have happened. They should have crossed over birth and old age. So see the reply the Lord gives.
Asi santi thomayanti abhijapanti chuhanti कामांति जपन्ति पटिच्चदाहं तेहि आजीविका भवराजरत्ता नात्रयसु जाति जरन्ति पूर्णे.
See, their prayers, asisanti thomayanti, all these prayers and worships which they said, abhijapanti, they were kama abhijapanti patichalabham, they were motivated by sensual pleasures. Reward of sensual pleasures. That is what they wanted. That is what they longed for. So their offerings were dyed with that passion. Their offerings were dyed with the ye te yaja yoga bhavaraga ratta. They were attached, dyed. They had that attachment of becoming. So na atiram sujati. So therefore they could not cross over the birth and death. They cannot cross over because whole offering is made with the idea of getting a reward. That is all dyed with passion, with tanha.
So, but there would be some who are actually doing it because it's given in the scriptures, etc.
Yeah. So, but basically that would be doing it out of ignorance, without understanding. If you don't understand, then nothing is going to happen. Yes, next.
ये च नातरिंसु यज्ञयोग यन्ये हि जातिं च जरां च मानसा अत्र को जरा हि देवमनुष्यलोके अत्तारि जातिं च जरां च मानसा पुच्छामि तं भगवा भूमिमेकम्.
अगर वो नहीं हुआ तो बताओ. I ask you, tell us how do we cross over. That is the basic. Puchhami tam, I ask you, Lord, attari jatinja jaranja mapsi, then athko chari. By doing what can human beings and devatas and all that, how can they cross over this birth and death? So वो concept तो था ना उस समय, birth and old age should be overcome. So how will you do it? Please tell us. So the answer he gives in the last verse, Sankhaya lokasmi paroparani yasinjitam natti kuhinchi loke santo vidhumo anigo niraso attariso jati jaranti bhumi. Sankhaya lokasmin, having considered everything paroparani in this world and beyond, means having understood and analyzed everything in this world and beyond, yasinjitam natti kuhinchi loke, who is not agitated by anything in this world, santo, who is calm, vidhumo, who is free from all smokes of passions, anigo, free from woes of all kind, niraso, who has no desire, koi asha nahi hai, attari so jati jaranti. Such are the people who cross over birth and old age. So Punnaka is then silenced, he is happy. We are all asking questions about way to beyond. That's why this Parayan Vagga is named, how to get crossover, पार कैसे जाएं. So all these Brahmins had that idea कि हमको संसार से पार जाना है, but they had their own understanding of how to cross over the world. So he's trying to correct for everybody, he's trying to correct it again and again and again. So all these suttas are of that kind. So small short question answer session. Very, very profound questions.
दोस्तों पुण्य के बारे में तो कोई ऐसा profound
क्रॉसिंग ओवर द वर्ल्ड की बात कर.
वो तो ये पूछ रहा है कि यज्ञ फल क्यों करते हैं.
तो जितना उसको जा रहा है कि सारा जीवन उसने यही किया है भाई. Whole of his life उसके टीचर ने 120 साल तक यही किया है और यही कहा करो. And he has that idea कि the aim तो क्लियर है ना, गोल तो क्लियर है ना उनको. आज तक तो गोल भी क्लियर नहीं है उनको. At least the goal is clear. The path they are following is not correct. So they are trying to find out what would be the correct path to find the goal.
So in case of Punyaka, the end goal was this liberation.
Yeah, that's what he asked. No, he's asking again and again. पहले तो पूछ रहे हैं कि क्यों करते थे. फिर उन्होंने कहा अच्छा आधे क्रॉस्ड ओवर. उन्होंने कहा नहीं कुछ नहीं हुआ. नहीं हुआ तो कैसे जाएंगे बताओ. See, the inquiry is not stopping short of that. Everywhere the inquiry does not stop short of how to go beyond the worldly.
लेकिन जो ये यज्ञ वगैरह कह रहे हैं करने, यज्ञ करते हैं, यज्ञ तो भीतर करना है ना.
वो बात तो है ही ना, वो तो शब्दों की बात है.
पर
ये तो जो करते हैं सच वो बता रहे हैं ना कि जो ब्राह्मण लोग करते हैं वो तो उसकी क्वेश्चन. तो जो विचार वो सचमुच में करते हैं ब्राह्मण लोग वही बता रहे हैं कि भाई हम तो इसलिए करते हैं. So he's telling them कि आपका उद्देश्य ये था. So you can't expect that this will take you to liberation. Liberation तो नहीं हो पाएगी ना इससे. You'll remain in the bold because the whole idea was dyed with colors of rag and.
इनको ये पता नहीं कि मतलब ऐसे करने से कुछ होने वाला नहीं है.
तभी तो पूछ रहे हैं. अधिकतर लोग ब्राह्मण लोग करते हैं इसी विचार से करते हैं ना, इससे यही होगा. अंडरस्टैंडिंग तो यही है ना. देवता प्रसन्न हो जाएंगे एंड देन वी विल बी लिबरेटेड, वी विल बी फ्री फ्रॉम ऑल सफरिंग.
पर कई जैसे संसार में लोग करते हैं, यज्ञ करते करते लोग देवता प्रसन्न होकर देते नहीं है लाभ।
हाँ तो वो सांसारिक लाभ है ना,
नॉट क्रॉस ओवर।
सेइंग ना, सांसारिक लाभ है, इसी को तो उन्होंने कहा ना, दे आर डूइंग इट फॉर सेक ऑफ
या
sense worldly pleasures, and then they get. The devas may give. That is a. He doesn't deny the possibility that devatas help you in your day-to-day life. That he does not deny the possibility.
अच्छा
But that is not the objective of
लिबरेशन
liberation. का तो दूर रह गया.
ये समझ में क्लियर आ गया ना कि सांसारिक सुख तो तुम्हें मिल जाता है क्षणिक।
जो रेसिटेशन भी करते हैं ना, भवतु सब्ब मंगलम रखंती सब्ब देवता, दैट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ द बुद्धिस्ट ट्रेडिशन.
that may the devatas look after you.
Yeah, and Buddha says in that Ratana Sutta, na, when he calls the devatas कि ये लोग तुम्हारे इतनी offering करते हैं, come on and protect them.
मतलब हम इसलिए उनको मैं
रतन सुत्ता में when he goes to वैशाली और वहाँ पे बिल्कुल दुर्भिक्ष आ गया है, and there's complete drought and people are dying, so he then recites that what's the qualities of Buddha. He tells the Ananda, na, to recite this is the Ratna in Buddha, this is the Ratna in Dhamma, and in one of these sentences is of that kind. All these people who are making offerings to you regularly, come you Devatas and protect them. You should protect them. So the Buddha did not deny that by making offerings Devatas are there, because he accepted the existence of Devatas. He went and taught them. So he said that yes, they would do, but they would only look after your physical problems, and so they will help in reducing this, in giving some protection of that kind. They can give some protection of that kind. But crossing over, so they have not crossed over. So how will they cross? How will they give you protection in crossing over?
वो भी इसमें फंसे हुए हैं.
In the Jaga Sutta that comes ना, that देवासुर संग्राम की जब बात आती है उसमें, अभी हमने पढ़ा नहीं ना शायद the Jaga Sutta. So then the devatas have put banners. So they इंद्र कहता है कि बैनर, इंद्र का बैनर लगा लो, and so then this is कि बेचारों को समझ नहीं है. इंद्र himself is not free from fear, तो वो कैसे इसको free? How will they become free from fear? So free from fear is, and if they want to really be free from fear, they should recite this. Iti piso bhagava, that's what it is.
So at best, all this kirtan, puja path, etc., at best will take care of, at best, mundane things.
Yes. And most people do with that objective. हम सुखी रहें, परेशानी ना रहे, दिक्कत ना. Who is doing it with the objective कि मुझे जन्म मरण के चक्कर से
ये
मुक्त
कोई
होना है?
बहुत कम
कौन है? बहुत ही कम होते हैं.
ये बहुत ही कम
हाँ, they start with that, but then अगर वो सचमुच में है तो उनको पाथ मिल ही जाएगा. The nature will create for them conditions so that they find the path. This is, path is found like this, you go and happen to meet a teacher who is appropriate and ask some question, then he explains, अरे ये नहीं है, ऐसा करो.
ये वो तो कर ठीक है अपने.
Two questions. One from Shailesh. Isn't metta for self similar to desires of those Brahmins?
It is not a metta for self, is acceptance of the suffering. And the basis of concentration is happiness. So, being happy and may I be happy, may I be peaceful is an idea, not an end in itself. It is a step. Because from that happiness, concentration will be possible. From concentration, panya will be possible. So we see it in that direction. So in a sense it is, in a sense there is a sense of desire, but that desire is motivated that this is a prerequisite for me to move ahead on the path. It does not stop there. So when we practice aham avero hom me avyapati, may I be free from it, they are all basically meant for that purpose. Because we are all worldly people. So you practice it in that manner, practice with understanding, then there will not be any confusion.
And so there is this one more question from Amit. You had given this dog's simile, and he wants to have similar example as the dog simile for smell and taste.
The similar example of reflection is, I'm not able to immediately think, but for example, for smell, when we smell something, we have the idea that smell is residing in that object, and because of craving or aversion, we give importance to that. It evokes a response from us because of craving or aversion. But we forget that the sense of smell, that is the Ghana Vijnana, is also a conditioned phenomena which is arising based on our sense of abilities of our nose and that object. If the ability of our nose is different, I will not be able to smell. There are many people, I remember my mother, she had lost her sense of smell to a great extent. So she could not smell. She could feel it. Some people have very heightened, I have a very heightened sense of smell. Extremely heightened sense of smell. So what is the reality? That which I perceive or which you perceive or which my mother would perceive? Same object, different. So the properties which are ascribed to the object are in a way subjective. They are reflection of my consciousness. My consciousness is able to give it certain color, certain smell. Your is able to give it some other. And if a dog were to see it, he will see it totally differently. We cannot smell anything where a dog can smell. Otherwise, you would all have smelled bombs lying where they are. We can't. Dogs can. So, what is the reality of smell? What is the reality of smell? It's all reflection of our consciousness. Same thing. Hearing also, same thing exactly. Especially in old age, you lose the ability to hear. Then you are saying something, and if the person is not recognizing that he or she has lost the ability to hear or is impaired, तो हमेशा ही कहेगी नहीं आवाज़ कहाँ आ रही, कोई आवाज़ नहीं आ रही, कोई आवाज़ नहीं आ रही. And the animals have a hugely different ability to hear. Bats hear in ultrasonic region. हमें तो पता ही नहीं कुछ भी.
So bat की जो consciousness है वो
His hearing consciousness is operating in a totally different field. We can see, we can hear things which we can't. So we can't say whether that sound is existing or not. Of course, this is existing.
But
For us, it is not existing.
Yeah.
The elephants can hear at I think 10 hertz. We can't hear less than 20. So the sounds which are less than 10, 20 hertz, we can't hear. If an elephant were to come here, he will say, "Itna shor mach raha hai, kya hai ye?" So what is the reality of sound? Objective reality, there is no objective reality. That is what quantum physics is also coming up to. There is no objective reality as such. It is only the reality as reflected in the apparatus and the consciousness. Depending on consciousness, the reality would change. Depending on apparatus, it would change, leave aside consciousness. Depending on the way you see it, it changes. And what we call as real is actually some electrical signals in the brain according to neurosciences. If you see modern science, it says there is nothing like reality. You are giving a meaning to certain signals are getting in the brain, whether it is hearing or smelling or touching. This is what is happening in the brain. Certain neurons are firing, millions of it. They fire in some random way, and that gives rise to smell. Something else gives rise to. They fire and attack a certain part of the brain. It gives rise to smell. Certain other place, and it gives rise to sight. It gives rise to taste. It gives rise to hearing. So what is real? Those neurons firing. That is the ultimate reality. If we have to see, everything else is a meaning we are giving to it. If that part of the brain is damaged, finished. Sound, no sound for you, no sight for you, no smell for you. So this, of course, is a very difficult thing to really fathom, that there is no objective reality, because so that's why it is said there is a consensual reality. We have all agreed, okay, this is this. Because हम लोग आपस में interact करना है ना, नहीं तो मुश्किल हो जाएगी.
But amongst the different species, that consensual reality is different.
Totally different. Not only species, among suppose the population of colorblind people were more than that of not colorblind people, तो जो minority में है उनकी तो ऐसी वैसी हो जाती है. वो colorblind है, white है यार, black है, white है. जब मैं I am blind to yellow, I will not see ऐसे. दीपक कहेगा नहीं yellow है यार, हम सब कहेंगे पागल हो गया, yellow कहाँ है? Because we are all colorblind, we see it, we don't see yellow, we see black, we blue. So he'll say it's blue, kehega yellow, nahi, I think he needs to go to doctor. Because there is no objective reality, it is as perceived by consciousness. Conditioned phenomena arising. Consciousness is a conditioned thing which is arising. Conditioned by the eye, conditioned by the object, conditioned by the light. अब अगर यहाँ पे light different आने लग जाए, सूरज की light white की जगह yellow हो जाए, तो फिर world will change. Snakes see in the infrared region. Imagine what they will see. For them, every stove will be red in color.
So, अब stick के ends और middle की अब इसमें कैसे इसको समझे? So the ends are.
One end is our sense organ, other end is the world outside, and we, because of ignorance, we impart a meaning to it. And we impart objective reality to the world outside. Actually, we are imparting that objective reality because of craving and aversion, not because otherwise.
तो इसमें craving and aversion कहाँ से आया?
नहीं तो हम उसको we will not bother about it and giving meaning to this. We will not give any meaning to it, ना. इतनी चीजें हम देखते हैं सड़क पे जाते हुए, we don't bother about everything. They just don't matter to us. We have no aversion, craving for it. ठीक है, we just see we just see a form, okay, there's a form, finish. That is the real perception, that there is a form, there's a color, okay. But what is that color is okay. Apparently this is yellow, this is red, this is white. So we have a consensual reality because all human beings have same range of vision, same range of hearing, same range of taste, same mostly. So majority लोगों का क्योंकि एक ही consensus है, तो हम सब ने एग्री कर लिया ये येलो कलर है, ये ऑरेंज है, ये ग्रीन है. एंड वी आर ऑल टोल्ड अब बचपन से बच्चों को बता देते हैं, सो वी ऑल एग्री, हाँ भाई ये. अब किसी की आँख में प्रॉब्लम हो जाए तो दिक्कत हो जाती है. जैसे वो बच्चे का कहानी आती है ना, उसकी चाइना में एक बच्चा था, वो एक्सरे रीजन में देखता था, वो किसी को भी देखे तो कहते तेरी हड्डियाँ टूट रही हैं, तेरे ये हो रहा है, तेरे वो हो रहा है. वो पीपल थॉट इसे तो कुछ ही हैज गॉट सम डिवाइन पावर्स एंड मिस्टिक पावर्स, ये तो सबको बता देता तुम्हारी क्या बीमारी है. एंड देन दे इन्वेस्टिगेटेड, छोटे बच्चे को कहाँ से पावर आ गई, जो साइंटिस्ट लोगों ने इन्वेस्टिगेट किया, एंड देन दे फिगर आउट कि समहाउ बाय सम म्यूटेशन इन हिज ब्रेन ही कैन सी इन द एक्सरे रीजन. अब अगर हम सब लोग एक्सरे रीजन में देखना शुरू कर दें, तो व्हाट विल द वर्ल्ड अपीयर टू अस, जस्ट इमेजिन. देन व्हाट विल बी दी, जो सारा ब्यूटी का कॉन्सेप्ट जो है ब्यूटी का, सब बदल जाएगा बिल्कुल. Then the beauty will depend on the thickness of the ribs.
How strong your bones are.
Because all that you will see is the skeleton. then we'll give meaning to the skeleton. सिर का skeleton ऐसा हो तो सुंदर है, ऐसा हो तो कुछ सुंदर नहीं है. Then our consensual reality will change. Everything will change. So it's all conditioned. It's all conditioned. It's so difficult to really come to terms with it. No? So difficult. So that is what is meant by the consciousness is a magician's trick. So Vikun Jnanananda has called that book Magic of Mind. And it is
What book on it?
short book. It is actually a sutta, Kala Karma Sutta, which he has given expounded. And that Kala Karma Sutta is, there's a reference to what exactly consciousness is, and that he has tried to explain that. It is an exposition on Kala Karma Sutta, which is called Magic of Mind.
So there is this comment from Shilesh, and he's laughing at the end of the comment that why can't we make the consensual reality the absolute one and be nirvanified? But actually, probably this is what we assume, right? We assume this, what we are seeing, what we are smelling as the absolute reality.
That is the appearance. We take it for reality. That is the fundamental issue. That we take the appearances to be real. If we all develop that ability of just seeing the molecules and atoms, the whole world will change for us. But then we will start having craving for molecules and atoms. Craving का कोई limit है क्या? You can start having craving for the shape of the skull. This shape of the skull is beautiful, this is not.
I see, so that may not change.
That element of craving you can develop.
Till the time you want to hold on to, grasp onto something.
Till that grasping onto notion of I remains.
You grasp on something else. Yeah. Maybe your grasping becomes finer and finer.
So it needs a deep reflection. You remember yesterday we read, no? Examination and reflective acceptance. That are the stages.
Truth element.
What is truth? How do we arrive at the truth?
Examination.
Hearing Dhamma, then examination, then reflective experience, acceptance of it. So you reflect on it again and again till it becomes accepted. हाँ यही है.
I see.
Then you arrive at the truth, not otherwise. Or you come listening, or you are making an attempt at understanding this. Because it is so counterintuitive, so difficult to. And we have to live in the conventional world, so वहाँ पे तो conventional reality से काम कराना पड़ेगा. So all the time we are trapped by that. You are uncomfortable there?
No, I'm trying to remain alert.
You said शांत नहीं लगे. So this issue is really, it needs to be thrashed again and again and again and again. Whenever we get trapped by the world, just remember this.
तो आप ये सेल्फ में तो बहुत आते हो, ये आपने पहली बार उठाया है. ये
these are reflections of that kind. This issue of I've been discussing in our science and humanism class for ages, but we ourselves never. I'll take that call. It's important. Hello, Naik ji.
So मैंने आपको email कर दिया.
देखा मैंने अभी भी. It is from a book or from
again
audio?
Through the talk of Ajahn Chah is titled Making the Heart Good, and written article and talk both are by same name. I think they have maintained that continuity. So I was listening to this, then I could find the corresponding written article on the and that also from the Ajahn Chah's talk, making the heart good. And background for this talk which Ajahn Chah gave was to the lay followers who have possibly come in a bus full at the monastery, possibly to make homage to the Buddha, and the way Ajahn Chah mentioned that it possibly might have happened that most of them were just for a passing by.
Passing by.
It's just a
Stop.
the monastery becomes just a stopover point where they
Taking rest.
taking rest or just
Paying respect.
paying just respect, and then you just go ahead and without thinking much that what you are doing or why you are doing. And then what Ajahn Chah says is that most of you come with this attitude to make merit to come to the monastery, but you really you really don't reflect on what actually you are doing when with what attitude you are coming. When you come to the when you are in the bus and you are coming to the monastery, you may be probably be chit chatting, talking, or some might be taking alcohol, who knows, but they have this idea to just go pay respects and have some merit making.
So now I will do ऐसे करते हैं.
Yeah. So in so I don't know how much in Thailand when people go on this kind of visit to the monastery, how much they they have this desire to wish something from
मोस्टली तो जो ट्रेडिशनल बुद्धिस्ट तो इसलिए जाते हैं ना कि पुण्य कमाएंगे, आर्मी बढ़ेंगी, पेइंग रिस्पेक्ट्स, मेकिंग मेरिट इज ए वेरी
So in India, when we visit the place of worship, we also have this attitude that there are difficulty over here, so you go and ask. I don't know how much of that is there in Thailand, but essentially both of the things kind of become similar. That you want something, either you want merit making or you want some physical goods or
यू आर इन डिफिकल्टी. मोस्टली तो परेशान है तो चलो भाई वैष्णो देवी चले जाओ, हेल्प हो जाएगी, देवी की कृपा हो जाएगी. वहाँ पे जनरली उस तरह से तो इन डिस्ट्रेस तो जाते ही होंगे, देन दे वुड गो टू अ मॉन्क. बट जनरली विजिटिंग मोनेस्ट्रीज जैसे है ना, इट इज बेसिकली फॉर पेइंग रिस्पेक्ट बिकॉज इट्स अ पार्ट ऑफ द कल्चर. मोनेस्ट्री जाना अच्छी बात है और भिक्षुओं को मिलना अच्छी बात है. श्रवणानंद दर्शनम है ना, वो शरणों के दर्शन करना कल्याण का बात है. चलो चलेंगे, नमस्ते करके आते हैं. काफ़ी.
लेकिन जैसे जो भी थाईलैंड के कहीं भी लोग हैं और लेमैन जो है, वो मोनेस्ट्री किस पर्पस से जाते हैं? जैसे हम लोग तो पूजा करते हैं, मांगते हैं.
They go to pay respect to the monk because उससे पुण्य कमाया जाता है. वही बता रहे हैं.
They make a lot of donations.
Yeah.
but
All basically for that purpose.
जो उनकी सफरिंग होती है उसको भी जैसे हम लोग कहते हैं भगवान ये ठीक कर दो, तो वो भी उस भावना से जाते होंगे क्या?
वो भी different, they are not different people.
क्योंकि उनके वहाँ तो और मंदिर शंदिर ऐसे नहीं है ना कि जो.
But for them, their monasteries are the places. उसको जो temple ही कहते हैं.
वाट का मतलब ही टेंपल
होता है.
किसका मतलब?
What?
It doesn't mean monastery, it means temple.
अच्छा, what means temple?
वाट तो वहाँ पे तो ऑफिशियली डेजिग्नेट किया जाता है ना टेंपल को. वाट को गवर्नमेंट डेजिग्नेट्स monasteries as what they. Not all monasteries are wats.
अच्छा.
Some monasteries are pure monasteries.
अच्छा.
They are designated as wats after some time.
So one of the things which Ajahn Chah wants us to reflect on that, uh, rather than trying to come to monastery for merit making, one should try to reflect on how to come out of wrongdoing. What can one do to uh, come out of this wrongdoing? So Ajahn Chah says that wrongdoing, we do wrongdoing either in bodily, verbal, or mental. So he says that rather than having this reflection or cultivation of not doing these wrongdoings, we just want to do this merit making and thinking that everything will fall in place. And then he tried to give several examples. So one of the example he gives is like you are building a beautiful house with before preparing the land. So no sooner the house will collapse. So this is the very sharp, pinpointed thing he gives. And another thing, another example he gives is of merit making is like washing your, dyeing your clothes which are still dirty. So it's like you have lot of in our verbal or in our bodily conduct, we do a lot of bad things, but we just think that by just going and visiting, we will will be able to collect a lot of merit, and our clothes will be dyed properly, or we will become a different person. But unless we have this,
pointing out the importance of शीला, अगर शील नहीं है तो उसके आधार नहीं है तो आगे आप क्या कर रहे हो? What are you doing?
And again, in the slide number 4, whole is too deep. What Ajahn Chah wants us to reflect is that we need to come back to ourselves, and rather than trying to find problems or trying to find that the situation is wrong and I'm not able to do because of some external factor. He says that suppose there is this deep hole, and if 100 people put their hand in the deep hole, and there is something in the bottom, then if the hand cannot reach, if your arm cannot reach to the bottom, they'll just say that the hole is too deep. But nobody will say that my arm is short. So this is again is pointing that trying to reflect on yourself that maybe if you are not able to uh, do something correctly, or you are making those mistakes, rather than trying to see the mistakes outside. And again, the message which he was giving was to look at ourselves rather than to look outside and trying to find the problem. Whatever happens, whether we are feeling happy or sad, we need to come back to ourselves and see is what is in me which is possibly causing that. And in slide number 5, he says that the teaching of Buddha is just very small, and it can be said in just 3 words: Sabba Papasa Karnam, restraining from all the bad doing, wrong doing, evil doing. He says that the teaching of Buddha is so small that many of them just kind of ignore it, and then uh, after ignoring it, like it just becomes like this merit making, and trying to trying to being wishful that these things will happen, but forget about this core of those teaching. And again, the message which Ajahn Chah was giving to the followers was to look at yourself. Once you are able to see yourself, you will be able to see the any wrongdoings you are able to you are doing, and then only you can kind of change the course. And he said this is the right practice which Buddha has mentioned, and this is a practice by which our cloth will become clean. And he wants to, slide number 6, he again gives a similar similes that have you seen a housewife who is washing the dishes, but she is kind of
Angry.
angry and kind of
Washing the dishes and making her mind dirty.
making mind dirty. Yeah. So so
नॉर्मली तो होता ही है ये डिसीज ना काफी मतलब परसेंट तो होता ही है
We need Ajahn Chah to tell us this.
So again, I think the a message which Ajahn Sah wants to give us that this washing of dishes becomes something external, and we're not looking at our mind and just external things we want to do, and we want to possibly correct this thing or correct that thing, but internally we just
Householders जब आते हैं तो he'll give a talk, pinpointing. He'll be able to gauge कि इनकी problem कहाँ है. वो पार्टी करके आए हैं रात भर और सुबह आए मॉनेस्ट्री पहुंच गए, उनको उसी तरह की डोज देनी पड़ती है.
देखिए फिफ्थ स्लाइड में he is still dwelling, and I was thinking that maybe there is similarity to how the Vipassana thing is there on a basic teaching versus self-related.
Yeah, obviously, because they have a set of people who come like that.
So that's the same situation with the Vipassana.
Yeah, of course. Certainly, this will be certainly. That's why I say for newcomers that is the ideal thing. You don't start with self for newcomers and talk. But we should not be eternal newcomers. वो कहते हैं ना वो अजान सुमित एक टॉक में कहते हैं ना, you're still beginners. How long will you remain beginner?
So again on slide number 7, he says that many times our attitude becomes that if no one is watching us, we will do kind of a bad deed. And so whenever we want to do any wrong deed, we just see that is anybody watching us, and if just nobody is watching us, we just go ahead and quickly finish off that thing. And then he wants to cultivate this attitude that are you not seeing your actions. If you are able to see your actions, then you will have that awareness which will prevent you from doing any wrong deeds or anything bad. So I think the message which again was again for awareness, to have this awareness of what you are doing, of what actions you are doing, and that's what comes out in slide number 8. So again, he's saying that if you have this awareness, this awareness itself will act as kind of a gatekeeper which can stop you from doing anything bad. And he says that ultimately the practice is to be able to look at yourself. Once you are able to.
Is that Pura was first teaching, Sarva Papasya Karanam Kushalasya Upasampada Satchito Paryadapanam Etad Buddhana Sasana. So he's just teaching them.
He's just teaching
of that.
Because in slide number 9, this so 9 and 10.
First Sarva Papasya Karanam, then Kushalasya Upasampada. So he'll then tell how to make virtues. So making Good karma is not bad, but firstly remove the negativity.
ये कहाँ पे आता है?
This is a very popular teaching. Sense of जो आता है ना कि some old lady goes to ये short में बता दो, ये लंबी लंबी बात है.
Okay.
Buddha tells him it is in Dhammapada ना. सर्प पापस्य करणं कुशलस्य उपसंपदा सच्चित्तो परिवर्तनम् एकत्वदान शासनम. सारे बुद्धों का टीचिंग ये है कि कुशल काम से बचो, कुशल काम की संपदा बनाओ. वो संपदा के रूप में बताते हैं. सच्चित्तो परिवर्तनम्, चित्त को शुद्ध करते जाओ. बात आ गई, चित्त को शुद्ध करना, बस यही काफी है. Is in Dhammapada, very popular verse.
आगे भी इसके
I think so. Just little bit loud. I think. आपकी आवाज थोड़ी सी धीरे थी.
मेरी आवाज. Actually, I realized उसका reason क्या है पता है? Why I speak so soft is that I hear too much.
अच्छा.
My sense of hearing has increased so high. If I speak loudly, it sounds like I'm shouting. इसलिए मैडम जब बोलती है तो मुझे लगता है वो शाउट कर रही है.
ये मौका नहीं छोड़ता, एक निकल गया.
नहीं देखो मैं तो अपने पे ले रहा हूँ बात है. See how he is inciting. It's not fair.
बोलते बहुत धीरे ना, सुनता ही नहीं कोई. कहीं फोन पे बात करेंगे मुझे बोलना पड़ता है, जोर से बोलो, अगला बंदा सुनेगा ही ना.
Okay, so we just covered these slides, making the mind virtuous and skillful, and having being peaceful, kind, and virtuous. And what Ajahn Chah says is that serene and peaceful mind is a true epitome of human achievement.
Pariyodapi means purifying the mind.
Purifying the mind.
But he is trying to moderate it to their audience now. Is that ability? Teacher is that is what is meant by a teacher. He sees कि इनके बस इनको इतना ही बताओ जितना एक खाना खा सके. ज़्यादा खाना दोगे तो परेशानी हो जाएगी ना.
And again, he brings out this teaching of anicca, and he gives this a good example. He's saying that whenever your kid does something bad, and you come to reflect that this is my.
If bad things happen to you, everything, whatever happens to you is a karma.
Is a karma. And he says that he gives this example of children, because he says that because we are attached to children, if the children does something bad, we again say this is my karma because of that. The children is doing something bad, and he's trying to bring this reflection that whatever happens to you, whether good or bad, if you can say it's my karma, and then I think things can rest in more peace rather than trying to either feeling too negative or trying to resist that. Just this acceptance that this is the karma, and then it's kind of can take you to the next level. You just like leave those things and don't carry anything good or bad beyond a certain level. And again, as in the last presentation, and this one also, the last presentation he used the word not sure, and he tries to teach them this this Kushalupaya of. So he says that whatever comes in your mind, and before you crash that, you can just question it, buying so what is kind of thing. So if you feel happy, you can just sow. And if you feel bad, you can just say so. So it's, I think the way it is to whatever arises, you can just look at it and you can just leave it, accept it, and leave it. And once we have that awareness, and when we are able to see those things in awareness, they automatically, kind of lose their grasping power. So this is just the way Ajahn Chah wants to cultivate the awareness. And I think when he was giving this talk, there was a tape recorder next to him, and the recording was happening. So he wanted to make this correlation that this tape recorder is external, but record this Dhamma in your heart, and that will be imperishable and will bring good to yourself.
And if you don't record in heart, it is a waste of money on battery.
Yeah. So I think his talk becomes very context of things surrounding us, and
people who come, it's a talk appropriate to that group of people.
Right.
Good. So that's it. Fine then, conclude.
Yeah, this is a last.
Okay. Any comments, questions, anything conclude?
No, I think the only last comment which came, I think, was just because of the
Sound.
sound. That's the only comment.
Next Sunday, we'll be
visiting.
So should we do it from there? क्यों भाई? Why not do it? That'd be great.
I don't know actually.
नहीं अपने उससे कर लेंगे ना.
दरअसल आप एडवेंचरस होते जा रहे हो.
नहीं, we can do it with our phone hotspot.
That is fine, but internet connection should be good.
ये तो कह रहे हैं हॉटस्पॉट
से कर लेंगे.
अरे वो तो रखो, मंशा तो रखो.
Let us keep it intention. Let us keep that intention, so you friends will listen to us from
TV.
Hopefully, we'll try our best to make it through Adibadri, or if not, then from hotel we'll do it. We can do it from hotel also.
बिल्कुल.
So next Sunday also we'll meet. We'll have it from a different place. Hopefully we'll show you some pics of the place. If possible, we'll do it from Adibadri, the place where that ancient monastery is there. We'll try to sit there and do this meditation and all that. If not, then we'll do it from hotel in Yamuna-Nagar. And keep the pictures ready for you to share with you. Yeah. Okay. Namaste to everybody.
Okay, thank you. Any questions? Okay, thanks. So we'll just close for the day. Thank you.